That's a weapon.
Yeah. All right, firing.
Light them all up.
Come on, fire.
Keep shooting.
The Bertrand Russell Jean-Paul Sartre Tribunal was instigated because people refused to believe that the US were committing war crimes. The tribunal was attacked by the entire media, rubbished on the BBC, and then 1 week after the tribunal ended, the My Lai massacre, one of the biggest massacres of Vietnamese civilians, was exposed by the New York Times. So what we did was very important. That was, of course, a huge war in which atrocities were being committed. What we are witnessing today is effectively a war against democracy, against democratic rights, against the right of people to know, and the insistence by the Western world, or most of it. The Germans have to be exempted from this and a few other countries, but mainly the United States and its British satellite, to impose one narrative on what is going on in the world today, and to prevent other news that challenges that narrative. That is what we've been seeing in the entire campaign of persecution against Julian Assange since 2010, when WikiLeaks exposed a whole number of crimes. And the media has played a major part in this denigration of Julian. The Economist, which boasts that it's the paper in favor of human rights, especially in Venezuela, actually wrote that Assange should be punished and extradited to the United States so that the, quote, the digital Jacobins of WikiLeaks are stopped from spreading this information, i.e. the truth. Do not speak, do not write the truth. That is what this has become a battle about. And have no doubt that the British state, both the so-called open state and the secret state, will do their best to ensure that Assange is extradited. I hope when it goes to the Supreme Court here, that changes might be possible, that they might stop this. I hope, but I am not confident at all, because what we have seen so far is a judge, a safe judge. In Britain, they have lists. Someone has a list. Who are the safe judges who will do our bidding? And that's the phrase they use. Is X, Y, Z a safe judge? Is A, B, and C totally reliable, partially reliable? There's a list. And for this, they found a safe judge. And the day I was in court, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Basically, she behaves as if she is part of the prosecution team. And she behaves like that because she is part of the prosecution team. She knows what her job is, and that is why she has allowed Julian to be brought into court and put behind a glass cage. It's an absolute scandal that this is happening. Just imagine if it were happening in a country which the West doesn't like, which is on the West's hate list, its sanction list. There would be outcries of anger. But many citizens in the West sleepwalk. They are aware of what's going on to a certain extent, but they feel they can't do anything. And that, I think, is a huge tragedy. And what is this a part of? This is now reaching a situation. I mean, I don't know when Britain was the world's leading democracy. Quite honestly, if you talk to people who the British colonized, no one will ever accept that particular assertion that Britain was a leading democracy, either at home or abroad. There have always been problems, and the judiciary has been part of the problem. The way the judiciary in Britain dealt with the Irish prisoners during the Troubles, locking up the wrong people, refusing to allow appeals, the way they have locked up large numbers of Muslims in Belmarsh, by the way, without them being brought to trial because they have no evidence. Habeas corpus has been suspended. This is the Britain we live in, and the United States actually is the same, especially now if Trump gets his way with the Supreme Court. So what we are seeing is a decaying of democratic institutions and a democracy that has been fought for by the people of these countries. Julian, alas, is the latest target. I know him reasonably well. I remember discussing him and the case just before he was given asylum at the embassy when I visited Rafael Correa's Ecuador, not the Ecuador of Moreno, who behaves and deals with the Americans like a narco lord, making money for himself and his corrupt colleagues. It's all about money for him. And so he sells out everything, including Julian Assange. It is a great pity when I think about it now that Julian actually didn't do what Snowden did and hop on a plane to Moscow. I wish him full support. I think we have to carry on. I think despite all the obstacles that we face, we have to try and convince as many people as we can that the way in which the trial is being conducted reveals a deep cancer at the heart of the English judicial system. And if this carries on, it'll be discredited further.